In this video, we're going to learn how to do transposition. Transposition is spelled like this. And it just means it's transfer, it's transport, right? It's to take something to somewhere. So let's see how this works. By now we all know how to solve an equation with inverse operation. What I find is that transposition is a lot easier, especially when we don't need to worry about the signs. So what do I mean by that? Let's look at the example, x plus 1. I know my final destination is to know x equals something. And in order to do that, I know what don't I need? I don't need this plus 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that term to the other side of this equal sign. So remember, this is still the equal sign. And notice that if I do that, I only have x left on this side. On the right-hand side, if I do that, I have to change the sign in front of the 6 to a minus 6. So plus 6 becomes minus 6. And because of that, 3 minus 6, I have negative 3. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try number 2. So again, I want to know what x equals to. So I go straight to the side where the variable x is. In this case, it's the left-hand side. What I don't know, what I don't want is this 3. So I want you to circle out that 3 and then give me an arrow that way. And now if I move it to the other side, on the left-hand side I have x left. On the right-hand side, and remember I have to change that sign from positive 3 to negative 3. So I have x equals minus 2. Let's look at number 4. Again, first step, let's write this down in your notebook. First step is to circle or box the terms. In this case, just one. Let's do one term at a time. The term you don't need. So in this, I'm messing this thing up. In this case, what I don't need is this negative 9. And then second step is to transfer, or you can say move to the other side of the equal sign. So I want to move this to this side, and the most important thing is to change the signs. Switch the sign. Positive becomes negative, multiply becomes divide. So on this side, on the left-hand side, I have p left, and if I move it to the other side, minus 9 becomes plus 9. So now I have p equals positive 5. Okay, so pause the video, finish the rest of it before we move on to the next video. Now in this page, it's still exactly the same thing, but now look at this. I have something a little bit different here. I have a fraction here, right? So in this equation, I want to see what n is, but this 3 is in the denominator. And remember, we have to switch signs. So if I want to move it to the other side, and in this case, rather than switch signs, I switch the denominator into the numerator, and then my left-hand side is left with an n. So now I have negative 6. And same thing with number 12. Number 12, I don't need the 5 in the denominator. So what do? I move it up to become a numerator, but on the other side. So now I have b left on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I have a 5 in the numerator, right? So that's how I solve this. Now, number 14, 3m. 3m is 3 times m. So I don't need this on the other side. and I gotta move it to this side. But be careful, because it's 3m, it's a multiplication, so you have to switch that operation and make it a division. That's how we do it. So in this case equals -8. So again, pause the video and finish the rest of the problem on this sheet. Let's look at number 15. So what I don't want is this -10, and -n is a multiplication. So if I switch to the other side, I have to change that into a division. So it's -100 divided by -10. Another way to explain it is that it went from a numerator becomes a denominator, and in this case n equals 10. Okay, so finish everything in your packet up to number 20 as your classwork and as well as your homework. Thank you, guys.